This is before, and this is after. What the hell is this thing? And what happened to this fish? And trust me, what you're looking at is so much more disturbing and impossible than you could ever imagine. Because this isn't some freak accident or disease, this is nature's most horrifying example of literally eating yourself to death. And it's about to make you question how anything this stupid could possibly survive in the wild. What you just witnessed is a black swallower. And this little nightmare is about to teach you that sometimes evolution creates creatures so ridiculously overambitious. I'm not exaggerating. This fish literally dies 9 out of 10 times it eats. In so incredibly different ways that you can't even imagine. Picture this. You're a fish that's only about 10 inches long, roughly the size of a pencil. Now imagine trying to swallow an entire Subway sandwich whole, then a second one, then maybe a third one for good measure. Except in this case, the Subway sandwich is another fish that's literally twice your length and weighs 10 times more than you do. That's exactly what the black swallower does on a regular basis, and it kills them in the most ridiculous way possible. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. This isn't just about having a big appetite. The black swallower has evolved one of the most extreme feeding mechanisms in the entire animal kingdom. Its stomach can stretch like a rubber balloon to accommodate prey that should, by all laws of physics, be impossible to fit inside its body. We're talking about a fish the size of your hand, swallowing something the size of a baseball bat. You're probably wondering, how the hell does this even work? Well, buckle up, because the mechanics are like something straight out of a horror movie. The black swallower's jaw can literally unhinge like a snake's, but even more dramatically. When it opens its mouth, the entire head basically splits apart, creating this gaping void that can expand to nearly twice the width of its normal head. Its lower jaw juts out with rows of backward-pointing teeth that work like prison bars. Once something goes in, there's absolutely no way out. But here's the truly nightmarish part. Those teeth don't just hold prey, they actually guide it deeper into the fish's throat. It's like being caught in a medieval torture device designed by evolution itself. The swallower either grabs its victims by the tail and literally walks its jaws forward over the entire body, or it latches onto the head and suffocates the prey before swallowing it whole. Either way, once those teeth make contact, the victim is already dead. It just doesn't know it yet. Now, the black swallower's stomach is where things get really insane. This organ can stretch so thin that it becomes completely transparent, like a grotesque biological window. Scientists have found specimens where you can literally see the entire shape of the victim curled up inside the swallower's belly, clearly visible through the stretched skin. It's like looking at an X-ray, except the patient is very much dead, and the doctor is a psychotic fish. But wait, it gets even crazier. The black swallower lives in the absolute darkness of the deep sea, sometimes over 1.5 miles underwater. Down there, food is incredibly scarce, so this fish has adopted a feast or famine strategy taken to the absolute extreme. When it finds a meal, it doesn't just eat it. It tries to eat enough to last for months. The problem is, it has absolutely no concept of portion control. Here's where the story gets darkly hilarious. Sometimes, and I mean fairly regularly, the black swallower gets so greedy that it swallows a fish that's simply too big for its stomach to handle. The prey starts decomposing inside the swallower's belly before it can be fully digested. As the dead fish rots, it produces gas. Lots and lots of gas. This gas inflates the swallower's stomach like a balloon. And here's the kicker, it makes the entire fish buoyant. So picture this nightmare scenario. A black swallower living peacefully in the pitch-black depths decides to be a glutton and swallows something ridiculously oversized. Over the next few days, as the meal begins to rot, the swallower starts inflating like a biological balloon. The gas buildup becomes so intense that it literally forces the fish to float upward through thousands of feet of water until it pops up at the ocean surface like a grotesque cork, very much dead. And here's the absolutely wild part. This is how we know most of what we know about black swallowers. The majority of specimens that scientists have studied were found floating on the surface, killed by their own gluttony. It's like discovering a new species because they keep accidentally committing suicide in the most bizarre way possible. One of the most famous cases happened in 2007 off Grand Cayman. A fisherman found a 7-inch black swallower floating on the surface with its belly so distended it looked like it had swallowed a basketball. When scientists examined it, they found an 86-centimeter snake mackerel inside. That's a fish over 4 times longer than the swallower that ate it. The prey was so big that you could see its entire body coiled up inside the swallower's transparent stomach like some twisted biological Russian doll. But here's what's truly mind-blowing. Somehow, this tiny fish managed to overpower and swallow a snake mackerel without being torn apart by its victim's teeth. Snake mackerels are aggressive predators with razor-sharp fangs, yet this little black swallower somehow managed to gulp one down whole. It's like watching a chihuahua successfully hunting a wolf, except the chihuahua then explodes from eating too much wolf. The really crazy thing is that nobody's ever actually seen a black swallower hunting in the wild. Despite being relatively well known from specimens, not a single underwater camera has ever captured one of these fish in action. We only know what they do because of the aftermath, the grotesque floating corpses they leave behind when their greed gets the better of them. Scientists think the black swallower uses ambush tactics, lurking motionless in the darkness until prey wanders close enough to strike. But the fact that they regularly kill themselves by overeating suggests they're not exactly the brightest predators in the sea. It's like evolution gave them the ultimate weapon, but forgot to include an instruction manual. And here's something that'll blow your mind. The black swallower's skin is so dark that it absorbs over 99% of light that hits it. We're talking about a fish so black that it's essentially invisible in the deep sea, like a living shadow with teeth. This ultra-black camouflage helps it ambush prey, but it also means that when bioluminescent creatures get stuck in its belly, their glow doesn't give the swallower away through its stretched skin. The black swallower represents one of evolution's most bizarre trade-offs: unlimited appetite versus basic survival instinct. It's a fish that can perform feats that seem to defy the laws of physics, yet regularly dies because it literally doesn't know when to stop eating. It's like nature created the ultimate glutton and then forgot to give it any self-control whatsoever. So the next time you think you've eaten too much at dinner, just remember the black swallower, a fish so committed to overeating that it turned gluttony into an art form, and death by food poisoning into a lifestyle. In the deep sea, apparently, your eyes really can be bigger than your stomach, fatally so. If you thought the black swallower was insane, wait until you hear about the creature that can punch with the force of a bullet and see colors that don't even exist. But that's a story for next time. Thanks for watching, and until next time, maybe don't eat anything larger than your own head.